having no choice but to use their most dominant and extremely powerful introverted intuition every minute of every day. It's no surprise that the INFJ experiences some odd phenomenons that set them apart from other personality types. In fact, if you've experienced all 10 of these circumstances, it's most likely that you're in fact an INFJ personality type. Welcome or welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with Number 1. When they can subconsciously perceive anger brewing from a mile away. INFJs are known to be great communicators, and with that, being able to sense when someone's anger may take control of the situation is a key aspect of this undoubtable gift. INFJs have natural instinctive feelings when it comes to knowing how someone is feeling, and they do their best to alter their outer demeanor to best suit the sensed mood. Since this personality type likes to avoid anger and conflict at all costs, when they feel anger or frustration arising within someone they're communicating with, they can usually ease the situation before it goes overboard, sometimes without even consciously trying. This instinct contributes to their understanding and calming communicative style, but it also allows for them to better judge a person's behavior based on the emotions they're feeling, rather than jumping to conclusions of who that individual is as a person. This is what makes this extroverted feeling phenomenon serve as one of the main reasons INFJs are considered to be so perceptive. Number 2. When they physically feel someone's pain. Empathy is a funny thing. For the INFJ, the simple act of being able to strongly feel the emotions of others is one that they would be lost without. And yet, in the same breath, they would feel a whole lot less pressure if they had the option to momentarily shut it off. Feeling such intense empathy through their extroverted feeling function is a phenomenon on its own. Yet it all becomes even more bizarre when the highly sensitive INFJ begins taking on the physical pains of another. This incidental phenomenon most occurs when the INFJ is first-hand witnessing someone in physical or psychological pain and suffering. Whether it be a realistic movie scene, a real-life scenario, or even through a detailed story of someone's past, INFJs can't help but to subconsciously put themselves in the position of the sufferer. By doing so, they can actually end up feeling shooting pains, aches, and symptoms within their own body. Number 3. The spotlight effect. Known as one of the more commonly experienced cognitive biases, the spotlight effect isn't only experienced by the INFJ in particular. Known as the phenomenon that makes one overestimate how noticeable their embarrassing behaviors are to others, the spotlight effect occurs when someone feels that everyone in the room is observing and judging them. And while in times this may very well be true to a certain extent, the INFJ personality type tends to experience this anxiety-inducing phenomenon more times than not. No matter how much they try their best to remain on the sidelines, they can't help but to think that people are questioning their reserved and mysterious behavior. In fact, this is all due to their highly observational and perceptive habits that lead them to analyze others in terms of appearance, social behaviors, physical gestures, and so forth. Since the INFJ inspects others to such a degree, they can easily convince themselves that others do the same, which is very rarely the case. Number 4. When they know someone's mind has changed, sometimes before they do. The words and actions of other people aren't as convincing to an INFJ as they would be to other personality types who use logic as their main function. With introverted intuition as their dominant function, it's almost as if INFJs are 10 steps ahead of other people when it comes to feelings and emotions. For example, an INFJ would be the type that can sense when their partner is no longer fully invested in the relationship, or contemplating parting ways long before their partner has even reached the conclusion themselves. Because energies are easier to read for this personality type, even the slightest shift can convince them that something's up. Whether they use that insight to negotiate the situation or protect themselves depends on many evaluated factors. But in the end, the INFJ doesn't always require outer reasoning to make their decisions. Number 5. When they sense someone is on the verge of a breakdown. Similar to the supernatural instinct of knowing when someone's mind has changed, INFJs can sense when someone is on the verge of a mental burnout. Although the two often coincide with one another, this introspective type can almost always tell when someone is on the verge of hitting a breaking point. Whether it be the person who has gotten all too familiar with taking on the brunt of the responsibilities in the workplace, within a relationship, or at home, INFJs can smell burnout from a distance. This sense of knowing comes not only from their intuition, but also from experience, as the INFJ is so used to being the one that can't say no, that they are all too familiar with reaching the burnout stage, and they can easily see the signs in someone else as they do themselves. So, if an INFJ feels comfortable enough, they may ask someone if they're still happy in their current job or marriage, despite already knowing the answer, in hopes of attempting to spark a conversation. They'll interfere in an attempt to put a halt on another self-destructive path before it turns sour. Number 6. When they just know something aligns with their highest good. If there's one thing most INFJs struggle with on the grand scheme of their philosophical view towards life, it would have to be the uncertainty of their own path. Yet, despite them not knowing exactly what their purpose is, it's not to say they don't know when something is not in line with their direction and morals. While most personality types tend to utilize the opportunities the world gives them in order to navigate where life will take them, INFJs won't settle for an opportunity just because it seems like a good move from an outer perspective. Through introverted intuition, this dreamer personality type much rather follow their demanding hunches that let them know if the opportunity feels right. And in the same way, if their hunches are screaming, "Don't take another step down this path," there's no amount of money, potential love, or outer opinions that can hold them down from fleeing. Likewise, they may make life decisions that seem absurd to the average person, but an INFJ's intuition will always take the final say, even if it doesn't make sense to them until later. Number 7. When they can instantly tell when surrounding energy is off. Speaking of the lack of importance they play on tangible proof, this doesn't only apply to their own decisions and self-analysis. In fact, the INFJ's need to look within for answers applies to just about everything, most especially when it comes to their detective work of reading outside energies. While other personality types that are led primarily through extroverted thinking and logic require a great amount of detail and rationalism in order to conclude that something isn't going right, the INFJ instantly feels a sense of uncertainty when something seems fishy. Whether it be a friend's toxic relationship, a sketchy boss, or even an environment that isn't what it seems to be, the INFJ personality type doesn't need details, outer confirmation, or convincing to see their suspicions through. In fact, sometimes their findings are so ridiculous that they tend to get into the habit of keeping their findings to themselves, to allow others to come to their own realizations naturally. However, in the times that they do speak up and share these introspective feelings that they often struggle to put into words, they are often met with doubts and disbelief, until their suspicions are proven right, that is. Number 8. When they easily spot connections in symbols, dreams, and synchronicities. One of the ways the INFJ comes up with their unbelievable intuitive findings is through synchronicities and signs. While it all may seem just a little too woo-woo for the average person, this personality type is known to be one of the most spiritually in tune, and their introverted intuition has a lot to do with this stereotype. Their introspective and instinctual nature draws them to not only notice, but find meaning in things like repetitive numbers, recurring dreams, recurring insightful thoughts, stranger interactions, and other things that others would bluntly brush off as coincidences. In fact, most INFJs don't believe in coincidences due to the simple act of introverted intuition and its roots in connecting patterns like a puzzle. Through this, they're able to subconsciously forecast what is yet to come, a skill that only gets stronger the more they practice. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, have you experienced each of these weird intuitive phenomena as an INFJ type? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.